Hi, everybody. I'm Nikki Vachon, College Access Counselor at the Finance Authority of Maine, she, her pronouns. I'm joined with my friends who are going to talk a little bit later, Steve and Mary, about the FAME services that we have. I want to take a minute to remind you all to either scan the QR code or go to famemaine.com/join to make sure you're getting all of our communications, but also follow us on social media. We try really hard to keep our social media pretty active, so go ahead and check us out there as well. So this presentation came about when we got our customer service satisfaction survey back, and we had a lot of folks asking for things we already had. And honestly, like some of the things that were asked for, I didn't realize we already do. So I'm super glad that I'm doing this for you, but also just want to remind folks a lot of the stuff that we're doing and some of the new stuff you may not already know about it, but I also want your ideas. So I got the chat going. Feel free to watch, to post something in there. I'd love to have your, I wish Fame did this. I'd love to have that. So feel free to jump in and join that anytime. So here's our agenda. We just want to help. Helping is our favorite. Like, I love my job because I get to help people. I'm going to talk about tools we have for our partners, resources we have for our students and families. We have a lot of information on student loan debt because I do a lot on the front end helping people try to avoid debt, but on the back end with people who have debt, how do we manage that? We have an amazing financial wellness and savings team. They're going to join in me, and I want to let you guys know about our publications. Our outreach efforts at FEME they're free. We are a quasi-state entity. It's a weird word that means I kind of work for the state, I kind of don't. But what it means to you is that our outreach services are free to you. I often have people ask me, like, how do I pay you for your time? And I'm like, don't worry, I already get paid. So just want to let you guys know, helping is my favorite. I get very excited about that. So just in case you don't know us, this is our small but mighty cafe team, college access and financial education team. We cover the entire state of Maine with these handful of folks. So just so that you realize that we have grown as a team because the need has gotten more. Like, we have a lot more things we want to offer and we have added more people, but we also still are a small team. So if you see my county that I cover, Aroostook County, Hancock, Penobscot, and Washington, I have the largest territory, but the fewest amount of people. But we try to hit all of our schools, make sure all of our schools are covered, make sure all of our colleges get that help that they need as well. And then in the blue section down bottom, these folks are just focusing really more on our financial education and our savings. So we got two members of those teams to talk about what they're doing because it's amazing stuff. So let's jump right in. I want to make sure folks know we have a ton of information on our website and our YouTube channel. We record all of our presentations. They are free to access and view. We keep a copy of the presentation in PDF form that you can download. You can use it. You can copy the data and use it for yourself if you want to. But just so you know that this session is being recorded, you might be viewing this on the recording, and that's going to be on our website on the educator resource page, but also on our YouTube channel. So we have a lot out there already. If you're looking for something in particular, someone had asked for some information on how do I deal with public service loan forgiveness. We got a recorded video to kind of walk you through that process. So go check that out. Along with Wednesday webinars, we also do Tuesday tips, and they're tied together, really. So last month, Mila did filing the FAFSA webinar, which, by the way, is our largest. Like, that's the big one. That's the big one. There's already 2,000 views on that one webinar that's been recorded. So that webinar happened in November, and then the next Tuesday of the month after that comes around, we do a Tuesday tips, which is 5 tips that are tied to that last webinar. It's not always, once in a while we stray from that pattern, but they're always tied, and they're designed so that, like, teachers or folks working in college financial aid offices can share that with their students. So it's really 5 tips to help you. If you want to sign up to receive Tuesday tips, it's on the website I've got listed on the bottom part of the screen. So we do in-person and virtual trainings, and here are our two biggest ones. We do a summer FAFSA training. We don't have a date yet. They're usually done in August, just before school is starting up for folks. That is usually done virtually, like a 9 to noon situation. We do make it fun, guys. I'm going to say, if you have questions about the FAFSA, you want to learn how to work with students yourself, this is a great place to come join us. We make it fun, super chill. That usually happens in August. But we have our biggest event of the year coming up in March, and that's Financial Aid 101. We're going to do that in person, Maple Hill Farm, and we do the whole thing over again virtually on March 28th. So if folks feel like they want to come in person, that's awesome. There's a limited number of seats for that. This is designed for folks who are working with students. It's not something like for parents to come to. Um, so limited seating there because it's kind of a small venue, but then we also do have the virtual session right after that. So you can go to famemaine.com/events if you want to get signed up for that. I want to mention communication for our partners. So one of the things that was asked for in our customer service satisfaction survey is that we would love to have scripts already written so that we know what to say to our families, what is time to do, and what we should say and when what to say. We have scripts, we have posters, we have postcards. If you go to our educators page, we've got it all right there, along with a lot more information. On that educators page, we have a FAFSA, a link to the FAFSA prototype. And the prototype is just a FAFSA dry run. Like you can go and play with the FAFSA in like a test scenario if you want to learn how to use that. So that's out there already. We have communications for students and families. So we do a texting and email program. Want to also mention this year for anyone who signed up on our class of 2025 text or email program, we're going to be giving away three $1,000 scholarships. So if you know anyone in the class of 2025, tell them to go to our contact page and sign up to get our texts or emails. We don't sell your information. We don't send a bunch of junk and you can opt out at any time, but we do tell you what to do and when. This is critical for our high school seniors who, when they leave high school, don't have that person who follows them around saying, hey, did you get your FAFSA done? They lose that awesome contact of having a school counselor, and that's kind of where we're going to pick up and take off from there. If you are on Facebook or you know people who are and they have questions about paying for college, we have a Paying College for Me Facebook group where folks can ask questions. They can, we post content all the time. Mila just posted this scholarship that's in the lower right-hand side of the screen. So we do post scholarships there too. So go ahead and check that out. If you want to sign up for our text and email, this is the join page. So the Win $1,000 Fund Scholarship, that's on that page. Or if you're a professional and you want to sign up to get communications that are really more geared towards you, you can see a little further down the page. You can sign up to receive emails under the professional working with students. One of the amazing things that we started doing a while back is the FAFSA portal, and Mila has been an amazing champion for this. The FAFSA portal is where high school and certain groups like CTEs can log in to their own portal and see their students and if they've completed the FAFSA. So they can see a list of their students, whether or not they've completed the FAFSA, and if they're selected for verification. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten an email from a school counselor saying, I have this student here, they swear they got the FAFSA done. That I'm looking at an email, it says they got the FAFSA done, but it's not on my portal. And it could be as simple as like the name doesn't match what the Maine Department of Ed census data says. But for a lot of kids, they did the wrong year FAFSA. So they at any point in time, you could go out to the FAFSA and there's two FAFSAs out there, the one for this year and the one for next year. Many times people will do the FAFSA for this year instead of doing the one for next year. And that's not, they didn't break anything. They just have to do it again. But what kills me is if someone does it, thinks they did it, and next summer when the bill comes and there's no 8 on it, they did the wrong FAFSA. Now they're gonna have to do the new FAFSA, but they've missed the deadlines for the free money. So that just physically pains me. If you are a school or a CTE and you want to get signed up for the FAFSA portal, you're going to have to contact Mila. She's going to send you a data user agreement. Department of Ed is very particular about making sure that we have a secure way to send data. So she'll just have you sign that new agreement if you have not signed up already. And for those of you who already have the portal, we're going to be doing new agreements next summer. So be on the lookout for that. We also have FAFSA completion rate by high school, and this is something that our team has hands on a lot. We take a look at the FAFSA completion rate like every week to see where schools are at. And if we have a school like in my district, I will reach out to those schools and say, hey, do you need any extra help? But you can go ahead and out there, it's on our website to see how your school is doing versus another school. So that's great to view as well. Okay, so most of my time is spent doing in-class or virtual sessions. We're leaning more towards doing a lot more virtual as our need has been increased. We've had a lot more requests to do new and exciting things, which is amazing. But there's a small group of us. So we're trying to do a lot more virtually if we can. And how that usually works is that if I want to meet with a class, I will have the teacher set up a Zoom, or I will, and I'll zoom into the classroom and I can interact with the students. A lot of what I do is very hands-on. Instead of just having me talk as someone on a screen, I try to do a lot of hands-on stuff. So it's worked really well. Or if you want me to come in person or any one of our team, just contact us and let us know. Here are some of the sessions that we've created or you have. I've been reached out to say, hey, I would love to have an adulting class. So we've created that content for you. So whatever idea you have, I would love to hear it because it's always great for us to figure out new ways to present this. So one of the things that I do is a shopping for college, and I love doing this with younger high school students, freshmen up to junior, before they start looking at a college, where you can shop for a college, right? You can do net price calculators, see what that school might cost you ahead of time. And that gives students, let me just say, doing things ahead of time is amazing because then if that school is super expensive or it looks like it might be, it opens their eyes up to saying, hey, we need to maybe have some more options, apply to a lot more schools, or maybe really look at that scholarship list and try to work on that earlier the better. So these are some of the things that we do in person or virtually, some classes that we have. Oh, another one that was asked for is that they would love to have samples of aid offers. And I have that presentation already built. If you want to do that in your classroom, I have sample aid offers, which are actually real aid offers that I changed the names of the schools that you could use in class to have students look and see what those aid offers look like and how to decode them. So that's a super fun one to do. We recently started a partnership last couple years with adult education where we offer a variety of sessions that are completely free offered throughout the state of Maine through local adult education hubs. So these are a lot of the sessions that are available to really anybody through adult ed. So you can go to your local adult ed and sign up for any one of these sessions. And I'm especially excited about the the book club that Mary's offering because that just looks really interesting. I mean, it's a great way not only just to learn more about financial literacy, but just really connect with other people. So that's awesome. We also offer one-on-one meetings. You can go to faymaine.com/contact and you can sign up for a time to meet with any one of our crew, and they're all amazing. So go ahead and check out that calendar. We do financial aid information sessions generally in the spring of the year. We really hit the road running with juniors. Having that conversation with juniors and their families before summer is so important. I really push for students to be working throughout the summer between junior and senior year so we can really ramp up that savings. But also, before they even start stretching their legs on looking at colleges, I can give them some ideas about how to see what it might cost them ahead of time. So we really try to meet with juniors doing our financial aid information sessions at night at schools. We go all over the state. We do virtual sessions as well. So if someone can't make one, they can join us virtually and we have them recorded too. A lot of schools would love to have us in the fall of our senior year, and I absolutely do all fall working with folks, but I feel like we've missed a lot of time when not having them before the summer, when we really could do some work ahead of time. So we do have some limited space in the fall before we get into the FAFSA. And I will say, we know the FAFSA opened late this year again. We were able to put in a lot more road work, visiting a lot more schools, doing financial aid nights. Um, we won't be able to do that again because I am 88% sure the FAFSA is going to open October 1st this year, and we won't be able to hit that many schools. So if you do want to have a fall session, make sure you book it early. If not, I really highly recommend hitting up your person that's in that region and let's do it in the spring so that we can get ahead of the ball. We also have FAFSA help sessions. That's what we're in the midst of right now. We're going to do a FAFSA information session tonight, December 11th, where our whole team is going to be on the Zoom. Folks join us. We give a quick, this is what the FAFSA looks like, and then we send people to breakout rooms where I might be assigned to 3 different people where I can jump between meetings and help them all. So feel free to advertise that. If you have some folks that want to get some help, we're right there to help you. Scholarship resources is always a big hitter. People always want to know about scholarships, and we got them. We have a scholarship search engine on our page that has a couple things I want to mention. We created a scholarship tracking worksheet. When folks are looking for scholarships, they will continuously find scholarships that have expired or the deadline has passed. These come up year after year, same amount of time. So when I'm working with students, I say, you see that one that just expired? Let's set a reminder on your calendar for next year to do that. Put it on this tracking sheet. You can always sort it by date so you can keep going back to it and say, okay, what's available right now that I can apply for? This is especially helpful for seniors right now who are looking at scholarships that don't open until January 1st. This is the time to start looking for those scholarships because January 1st is like the shotgun start of this season. So this is a great time to do some researching and put them on that tracker. So we also have, if you scroll down a little bit further past the tracker, we find scholarships that are just for Maine students, and that's on our scholarship search page. So that's a great place to look. You can filter by, your age group. There's scholarships for high school students and adults or folks that are already enrolled in college. You can also search and filter by major. So that's a great place to look. We also have a lot of requests for information to help our new Mainers. We have Florico Malwell, who has put a lot of work into building up this section of our website, and it's amazing. She has resources for folks who are getting ready to pay for college and paying for college. For those folks that may not qualify for financial aid, there are other programs that are offered in Maine that maybe folks don't know about. So this is a great way to look into this. We also do work with credential evaluation. We've received a grant to help folks pay to get their old credentials, maybe their old degrees or licenses in other countries evaluated to be used in the US. So there's a link to that credentialing grant program on that website. I really enjoy this. When I go to a financial aid night, I always have a student come up to me and say, I don't know if I'm eligible for financial aid. On our new Mainers page, we have a choose your own adventure questionnaire that helps students figure out if they are or are not eligible to file with FAFSA. So this is another great resource that we have there. Scholarships for new Mainers, we got tons of them. Florica looks for all kinds of scholarships that are available to students who aren't necessarily US citizens. And there's a great list there with links to the actual scholarship. I mentioned earlier that we have a ton of content on our YouTube channel. We've made a series of short explainer videos that are like, they're short animated videos and they're really cute. They're if someone's going to explain something to me, you got 3 minutes. So that's kind of what we had in mind when we built these, is they are short, they are to the point, super helpful. I so love the one that explains public service loan forgiveness. So if you have a student loan and you are working in a nonprofit, government or tribal agency and you want to learn more about that program, go check that video out. We got all kinds of them. Understanding debt. This is another section of our website that I use a lot when I'm working with students who just got their aid offer and they really want to go to a school and the school didn't offer them a lot of aid. We talk about debt. Um, Explaining the different options is always a lot to take in. So I explain it to them and then I point them to this resource that they can go back and understand the difference between a federal and a private loan. But one of the other things that I really enjoy is our loan salary calculator. So this is where I can plug in, if you do want to go to that school, you're going to have to borrow $100,000 for your whole education. So if someone has to come up with $25,000 for year one, they're going to be there 4 years. I figure they'll probably borrow 100,000. That will tell you that if they're going to do that, then their monthly payment is going to be over $1,000 a month, and that they need a starting salary of at least $81 an hour, which I think is, for a lot of students who have never taken out a loan before, it's super helpful for them, instead of saying, I'm just going to borrow, to really put it into context of what that's going to look like on the other end. We contracted with Betsy Mayott's organization, the Institute for Student Loan Advisors. After COVID, when things got super complicated, and they're still super complicated, I have folks who ask me student loan questions, and I can work them through 80% of the questions. Things are changing daily on that front. And I'm not sure I feel 100% confident saying, you know what, I think you should do this. When someone has a complicated loan question, I say, you know what, we've got TISLA, the Institute for Student Loan Advisors. They're going to answer your questions directly. We have a FAME specific email. If you guys have questions about this, feel free to send anyone her way. It's fame@freestudentloanadvice.org, and it sounds like not the typical FAME website that we're promote, but this is legit. They are fantastic. When I have a sticky situation that I don't know, these are the people I go to. They're amazing. And we want you to bullet it down, tell them what kind of loans you have, when did you take them out, what's your repayment status, and what are you looking to have outcome for this. And this is a great way to get some really good specific to you loan advice. If someone is more a newer borrower and they have loans from UMaine System, the community college system, Thomas, they can work with ECMC, who is another one of our partners, who can actually see the loans on the back end and give more specific advice that's really pertinent to that borrower. So these are some great resources to share. I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm going to hand this over to my friend Steve, and he's going to talk about our financial education and college team.
Thank you, Nikki. Yes, our team, you can see here, Mary, myself, Mary Pelletier, who you will hear from shortly, and Karen Parsons, to support Maine in achieving their goals. So sort of before and after the education decisions, there's general financial wellness, of course, during education as well. But we have a host of resources on financial wellness, financial literacy, personal finance, that we like to offer. So I'm going to give you a little look at that slide. Oh, right. So it's a long list, and all of this is accessible on our website. You can reach out directly as well to get more information, but A little menu here, Invest in Me Reads, grade 1 through 6 is Family Financial Education, and it's a program where we send books out to every public school student, grade 1 through 6, grade 1 through 5, and they can take those books home, and we offer a host of resources and guidance for how to use those books to generate financial discussions at home, or for teachers to use in the classroom. And that program gets underway for this next iteration in January. So you may be seeing that book come your way soon, whether you're in a school or have a student in school. Claim Your Future is a program we offer, which is an exploration of career pathways, salaries that go along with certain careers, and a budget process or financial decision. So it's a really interesting exercise designed for middle and high school students, primarily, that allows them to have a real career with a real salary based on real data and make decisions to pay their bills for a month. And it really highlights the relative cost of things compared to each other and compared to an income. And we do that in person. It's also an online version, which anybody in Maine has access to all of these, as Nikki said, for no charge. Next are one of our publications, Build. You can get online, or you can order a printed copy where it outlines tremendous steps for financial wellness. Connected to that is an online financial wellness platform where you have resources ranging from educational, again, to students, young students, and adults, and everything in between. Student loan support, Nikki's already gone over that fairly well, really well, actually. Employee financial wellness. We like to offer to companies who want to support their employees' financial wellness and their overall wellness by offering them resources and tools. For example, I'll be visiting a small business in South Portland soon to talk to their relatively young staff about budgeting. That's one example. We also have other ways of showing companies how they can start a employee financial wellness program, like we have one at Fame. Tools, calculators, and videos. Again, Nikki had mentioned some about particular to borrowing for education, but we also have more related to other aspects of personal finance. Presentations, events. I'm going to leave that a little bit for Mary, who's going to speak after me a little bit more about when we go out and do visits. And I want to also mention a personal finance summer course. As a financial education specialist, this is something that I specialize in. And last summer, we started our first chance to offer an in-person week-long intensive course for high school students. It was in the Portland area. We do want to continue that in 2025. Potentially a virtual version as well. Please stay in touch with me directly or anyone at Fame for details on when we know the date of the course and what the options will be. Next slide. This is a little more detail on that first one I mentioned, Invest in Me Reads. These are the books. This is all available on our website, so I'm not going to read it to you, but you can see there's a wide variety of books, from storybooks all the way through sort of mini encyclopedias about money that are really a lot of fun to read. I enjoy reading them, and kids really enjoy reading them. They're really approachable way to learn about money, and these are part of that Invest in Me Reads program, again, kicking off for 2025 very soon. Next one. A little bit more about Claim Your Future, which I mentioned before. We visit schools and are happy to. We also are trying to train the teacher or train the trainer or train the counselor, because this is something that's really easily adaptable for anyone working with an audience, like I said, particularly middle and high school students, to have a budgeting simulation and to really look at the return of education and income and the decisions we make on a monthly basis with our money. Again, happy to do that in person if we can arrange a visit, or we can even try to, and we'd like to, show you that you can do it yourself. It's very adaptable. We have resources and educator guides online. We can send a kit to you. And again, the online version is also really extensive and available for everyone in Maine. Next one. And my last one is to connect you with a resource that FAME partners with a group called Enrich, which is a financial wellness platform containing videos, articles, and the ability to do a sort of personal financial checkup. You can test your own money personality. You can go through different money meditations, in addition to the content, which are short videos and digestible nuggets and articles on a wide variety of topics. Again, free for Mainers, thanks to our partnership with Enrich, and iGrad, which is a little more geared towards high school and college. Enrich is more geared toward adults after college. And much of the content, similar topics, but different levels to which it's covered. The money personality tool is a fascinating exercise to take and help you move toward decisions in your financial life that will contribute to your overall wellness. I think that's it for me, Nikki. I'm gonna hand it over to Mary Pelletier, my colleague, who is gonna get into some other aspects of what we do at FAME. Thank you all.
Okay, I'll take it away then. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Nikki, for the great information you've provided so far. So my role at FAME, just to provide some background, I was brought onto the team early 2022, and I see myself and my counterpart Karen Parsons as a complement to the great work that Nikki and the College Access team does to make college affordability, higher education affordability, a reality for Maine people. But where Karen and I do our work is primarily within FAME's college savings programs. And so FAME administers two programs related to college savings, and that is the state of Maine's 529 plan Next Gen, and then the $500 Alphon grant. And I'm sure many on the call today have heard of the Alphon grant and probably have heard of the great benefits that Next Gen has for Maine people. But FAME really believed that we needed more outreach efforts to make that awareness more widespread and also provide more support to folks who wanted to set up a plan for saving for college, and then later down the line working with Nikki and her team to see how that fits in the overall picture of college affordability. So one way that we do that is we work with stakeholders across the state, including schools and other community organizations. So during the fall time, I am especially busy working at the elementary and middle school level to be a presence at various events. I go to a lot of open houses. We have been doing more efforts around this time of year to have a presence at schools where parents and loved ones are already gathering at these locations so that we can share information with folks where they're at. So a lot of times that includes information tables. Sometimes we do standalone events, and there's a lot of really great information to share, and then opportunities for follow-up after. One really important piece of this is that when we go visit schools across the state, we have the ability to work with families to update their Alphon grant information right on site. And so what that allows for is if a parent or if a family has moved since having their child, they can update their information, become reconnected with their Alphon grant statements, and then pass that information along to their child as a aspirational tool for, look at this money that's in your name for college that whatever you want to be, whatever your future holds, we can support you with that. So next slide, please. This is just an example of some more involved outreach efforts that we do, especially with schools and community organizations such as libraries or YMCA's. The Bright Futures Fair really originated from a need to have an engaging event for families that was outside of a typical webinar or presentation, something that the whole family could have an active part in. And so we worked with Kittery schools and we offered this event that we then replicated in a few different areas across the state. And it was incredible. We see Jess down there in the bottom. She was able to join us that day. And we did a lot of awareness work and also were able to follow up with families after the fact and offer support. We do this in a few varying ways now. We don't necessarily do Bright Futures fairs all the time. We have more of a menu of choices where you could have a small or large fame event at your school to encourage early college planning and saving. And so, we have some more to share that I probably will pass along to Nikki to share with the folks on the call. So next, please. And so, like I mentioned, we work with a lot of different stakeholders to share this information with folks. And one way is through working with employers. So I travel around the state to various employers and offer on-site trainings to staff on college savings as a part of maybe an overall financial wellness benefits package. And so that includes things like offering the educational piece, but also offering support if an employer wants to offer a payroll deduction to a next gen account. And even a step further, sometimes offering account opening assistance as well. And if an employer doesn't necessarily want to have a presentation scheduled, we also have a lot of really great shareable materials that you can share at your leisure. And it makes it very easy to encourage something like setting up a 529 payroll deduction or just making folks aware that it's an option available to them to meet their savings goals. Next, please. Perfect. And then, so to round out here, I do want to call out the college savings counseling that we offer. This is, I would say, another complement to the college access counseling or financial aid coaching that Nikki and her team offers. Karen and I will offer support to folks that are interested in opening a Next Gen 529 account. So we can work with them to go through the application. We can answer questions they might have. And then, we also can help them update their child's Alphon grant information if they are looking for assistance with that as well. So this is how you would reach out to us if you're looking for support with that.
So just want to finish up saying I learned recently about the looking up your Alphon grant. And
Yes.
so that's going to be, I think, our sophomores in high school right now maybe don't know they have money that's been set aside for them. So that's another thing that I learned that's amazing. And I will say, I just want to add to this. When I have a conversation about a student who wants to attend a college and they mention that they have a next gen account, it changes the conversation. Like it completely, if you've got even a little bit set aside, like I now have one more resource to help folks. But also want to say that like having you guys come to a school as an employer is a great resource because I think, we think of like we want to help our families, but like our coworkers don't necessarily know that NextGen has matching grants. So like for the accounts I have set up for my grandkids, the money I put in that I just did for Christmas, I'm ready. I got money there that's my money's gonna be matched. And how that's amazing. That's I can't say enough. I like literally will talk to anyone about NextGen that will sit with me for a second. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so just want to round out real quick to let people know about our publications. We are trying to move to a digital first delivery system where we have these resources available digitally for people. Anyone can download, use for free. When we started talking about going digitally with a lot of our resources, because they are super expensive to print, my whole team said, we're still doing our pay publication. When we go to visit a high school and we do a financial aid information session, having that print book for folks to walk away with, critical. We're not getting rid of the printed copy of that, so we're okay there. But just there are some other resources that we're not sure that folks use. So we're trying out like our plan book. We're gonna have that virtually right now. And if folks feel like it's something that use in classes, we'll consider maybe doing a different version of that. We really want to have more of an interactive virtual document that folks can use instead of just like a hard copy. So you can go to famemain.com/publications to check those out. Wanna just say before I get into I want your ideas, just want to mention in January, we're gonna have Florica do our next Wednesday webinar for new Mainers because we consistently have folks ask, we want more resources to help new Mainers. And I think there's a lot there that folks don't already know about. So come join us for that. And that is what I have for you guys. I would love to see in the chat if you have any questions or suggestions. Feel free to pop those in. You can email me or you can contact our team. Here's our email, education@famemain.com. You can give us a call. That's what I have for you. No idea is bad. So we love to hear all of your ideas. And actually, a lot of the stuff that we do is your ideas. So thanks for that.